Look, corn and cars. Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to day 44 of Across America as we head out of Holyoke, Colorado this morning, and to think about what state I was in. On our way to, I don't even remember the name of the town I'm going to today. I gotta look. It's been a bit of a funky morning. Palisade, Nebraska. There we go. Now I remember. It's about a 72-mile ride over there. And we are going to be getting in there, if we make it that far today, pretty late. I was up early. I had everything ready to go. Was heading over to breakfast at 7 o'clock. And found that I had a flat tire. Well, that took 5 minutes to fix, but I only have one spare tube, and I didn't want to leave town without fixing that. So, because the spare's on the bike now, so I ended up screwing around for about an hour, finding the leak, getting it patched, and getting ready to go. I couldn't get one here in town. There wasn't any place. There was a hardware store that didn't have any. And I wasn't going to waste a bunch of time running all over town trying to find one. So, and there are no bike shops. The closest bike shop to me is 50 miles in the wrong direction. So I got the spare patched, and finally I'm on the road at about 10:20. So I just hit a little piece of road construction here. They're working in the left lane, so they got one closed, and but they don't have the shoulder closed over here. So the flagger told me just go on through and to have a great day. And I'm going to try to. If I could make it to Palisades today, that will have been a great day. Seeing as how I got a late start. And then one final thought on my flat tire. That is the first flat tire that I have had while out on tour, on a bikepacking trip or any of my trips out overnight traveling. Never had one. And that's a lot of miles. This bike's got about, I think, somewhere around 4,000 on it now. My other touring bike has about 3,000 on it, and I've never had a flat. So I was really due for one. But I've always spent extra on tires. And this is a plug for Schwalbe. You can't beat their marathon tire, I don't think. I've had them on 2 bikes, and this is the first flat I've ever had with them. Well, I gotta tell you, it don't get any better than this. I got a flat road, relatively. New road, a much larger shoulder. There's no debris in it, which is a constant worry when you're, it's not a constant worry, it's just something you're constantly aware of. I'm gonna call it a worry. And a tailwind. And it's just beautiful out here today. So we are about to enter Nebraska here, and I'm gonna lose this marvelous shoulder that I've had for most of Colorado. The shoulders were pretty good, and now, as you can see, adios amigos, no more shoulder. But Colorado started like this, so we'll see. Nebraska, the good life. And that's all you're going to get from me as I enter state number 6. I'm not dragging my bike down there to get a picture of me at the Nebraska state line. Yeah, they don't call this Cornhusker country for nothing. If we still husked corn, there'd be a lot of it to husk. Both sides of the road. So I've decided that today's sponsor for day 44 of Across America is going to be a southwest wind, a wind out of the northwest when you are on a east to southeast bound road. That is our sponsor today, a northwest wind. Thank you, northwest wind. I like Nebraska so far. I love their plan for wind for cyclists. It's brilliant. Oh my, a hill. What do I do now? Well, here we are coming into Imperial, Nebraska. And this is going to be my first break of the day. I didn't take any of my first 3 10-mile breaks. I didn't feel the need for them. So here we are exiting Imperial, Nebraska after having lunch at Subway, and got a little bit of a surprise when I parked at the Subway. I was putting my bike away and getting things off of it that I needed to go into the restaurant, and a car pulls up beside me, rolls down the window and goes, "Are you Terry?" I said, "Why, yes I am." She goes, "I'm Marianne, I'm Mark's sister." And of course that is Mark of the Mark and Roxanne duo, Marksan Adventures, who I traveled with through parts of Montana and Wyoming together. We went through Yellowstone National Park together, and they were actually with me the morning that I woke up with my bad back and had to fly home. And almost a coincidence that I met her. I was just riding through town and she saw me and just thought, well, maybe that's him. And I think Mark and Roxanne had probably been keeping her updated on where I was and about when I'd be coming through. And so after 40 miles of farmland, we have a sudden change of scenery again. As we have hilly country and a hilly road, both sides. Hey, what's that grain elevator doing out here in the middle of these hills? Ah, I see. There's a piece of flat land on the other side over there. They're farming that. Well, we are entering Hayes County, Nebraska, and we are also entering the Central Time Zone. So we picked up a new state today, and we picked up another time zone. We're back in the Central Time Zone, my home time zone. I think that's almost as big as picking up a state. Although it does mean instead of getting to camp at 6 o'clock tonight, I'm probably going to get there at 7, but light-wise the difference won't be, I guess, all that great. So we're coming into Palisade, where we'll be stopping for the evening. Got to head up here a bit north to a campground and get set up, and then get ready for day 45 tomorrow, I believe it is. Yeah, I think we're up to 45 tomorrow. So this will be kind of thinking about maybe we'll just get up early in the morning and hopefully get going early in the morning and get that first 30 miles knocked out to McCook there. And so this is the downtown area of Palisades, and I went north of town here, this direction, to what was supposed to be a campsite and turned out not to be. The road that it actually directs you into is just somebody's private driveway, and it's along a filthy looking stream out there. And I can't see that if there ever was a campground there, it couldn't have been a very nice place to stay. But so what I did was I came back into the town here, and there are a couple of parks here. There's one across the street over there, and then there's this little tiny one called Community Garden, Palisade Centennial Park. I don't know if you can see that through the sun up there. And so I figured out, fortunately I've got cell service here, I figured out which of the what county they were in. And I called, and they're in 2 counties. This town is in 2 counties. So I called the sheriff at one of them, and they said it depends on what part of town you're in, which this town is tiny. So I don't know how it could be in 2 counties. But okay, now she's calling me back, so I got to go. Okay, so after calling the sheriff's department and talking to them, they gave me a phone number to call for one of the people that's on the village board here, and he gave me permission to camp in the park over here, which looks like a pretty nice park. So there's nothing open in town. I've got enough stuff to get me through the night and get up in the morning, and we'll start day. I'm lost now. I think this is start day 44. I guess it'll be from Palisades, Nebraska. So here we go, Highway 6. A couple of little towns along the way today, Culbertson, McCook, a little bit bigger town. Culbertson will get us about halfway to McCook. McCook about halfway to, not quite halfway to Arapahoe, where we're going to stay tonight. And another day of narrow to no shoulder, with a rumble strip taking up part of the shoulder. So we are off for another pretty long day. I'm trying to knock out some 70s here while the terrain's a little bit flatter, and I'm really trying to get going earlier in the morning. I was up at 5:30 this morning. Pitch black dark out. We're in the central time zone now, and moved ahead an hour. And the sun, there really wasn't much light till about, I'd say probably 6:15. And I'm just gonna have to get up and do, I did this morning, I got up and did what I could while it was dark out. And I'm gonna have to do more of that. So I'm here at my first 10-mile break, about 7 miles from Culbertson here, maybe a little bit less. And this is the road that we've been riding on for a while. And if you look over there at that shoulder, well, there's no shoulder. And it's been okay because the traffic lightened up. We went through a pretty major intersection back there, and then the traffic lightened up after that. So I am heading out of the Walmart. There it is, the Walmart. See, I showed you, I proved it. In McCook, Nebraska. I did a good shopping there, get me through a couple of days. And then we will continue on out to Arapahoe. Hopefully, we've got about 40 miles to go yet, and it's already 3 o'clock. So it's gonna be a late day, and boy, this wind is really starting to pick up out of the east. So we're coming into the town of Indianola. Here's something you see every day, a train. And here we are in Holbrook. We ticked off a lot of little towns in Nebraska today along the way. Antiques downtown. There's an antique right here. Yeah. Don't have to go downtown to find one. I think all of these little towns, these last like 3 or 4 towns, I have to go back and look at my map. I think all of them allowed camping in their city parks, and the last 2 towns, Holbrook and the previous one, which I've already forgotten its name, had nice parks. And that's the sign we've been looking for, Arapahoe. And my derriere could not be merrier than it is right now. That last, thank you, truck. That last 6 miles of shoulder was horrible. I mean, it was bone jarring. And my backside has had enough. And I've had enough. I'm glad to be here. And I've got, I think, it's probably another 2 miles into town here, it looks like, or a mile. Maybe not. But it's close enough. The shoulder got better. That's all I cared about. Man, that was rough. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 46 of Across America. Today we are departing Arapahoe, Nebraska, heading for Franklin, Nebraska, about 60 miles away. I stayed here at the Shady Rest Hotel last night, motel and campgrounds. Very nice little place. Had a great room here. Got in late, so I decided to go for the motel instead of having to unpack and everything. So a little bit of a shorter day today. It's a choice between 60 and 90 miles. I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit difficult because I'm anticipating some somewhat significant headwinds today. They're forecast for 10 to 15 miles an hour with 25-mile-an-hour gusts right out of the southeast, which is basically just the way that we're going to be going. So this is the highway leading out of town we'll be taking towards Franklin today, and we'll see you out there on the trail as we get day 46 underway. So we're getting off of US 6 East, which we've been on for quite a number of days. I think we got on it back in Colorado, somewhere along the line. And we'll be on Highway 136, which pretty much runs southeast, straight south here for a while. Marcia and Dave got way ahead of me. Dave and I stopped at the top of a hill to wait for her, and then she took off down the other side, and we sat there and talked for a little bit. I gotta pace myself a little bit here because there's about 2,000 feet of climbing today, which is a fair bit of climbing, and it's gonna be rollers. And it's been that so far, just up and down. Dave and Marcia leading the way as we continue on eastward toward Alma, is it Alma? Yeah, Alma, where they're staying tonight. And we're about 20 miles away from there, maybe 25. And then I'll have about another 20 or so to go to get down to where I'm going for the day in Franklin. So we're about 3 miles out of Alma, where I will be parting company with Dave and Marcia. I think this is the town down here on the horizon. I got Dave in front of me and Marcia behind me back there. And a beautiful day in Nebraska. And this will be probably my last full day in Nebraska. I'm pretty sure I cross over into Kansas tomorrow. Possibly with a little surprise detour that I may be coming up with. I gotta research it a little bit more when I get stopped tonight to see if it's doable. So we'll keep you updated on that. And that would happen in the next day or two. In case you were wondering, this is pretty much what the road has looked like for the last about 25 miles now. I'm about 4 miles out of Franklin, where I'm staying tonight, and it's just been one continuous gotta get a gear here. One continuous roller after the other, up and down, up and down, up and down for a good 20 some miles now. So we're down here at the Franklin City Park, and I I called the sheriff's department and they said that there's no camping there. Well, she didn't say there's no camping there, so that may be a misnomer. She said the better places there is an RV park down here a little bit to the south of the downtown, and that I can camp in that RV park. It's just a free will donation there, so that's nice. And this is on the route, route that I got to take out tomorrow morning anyway. So that'll be good, and hoping I can find some place to go grab something to eat. If not, I'll have to cook, which is okay. I might just cook anyway. So I gotta find this RV park down here.